the end of this evening, I'm going to be blamed for everything that's ever happened.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not? Just join the debate by saying more crazy things. Donald.
Now, in all fairness to Secretary Clinton, yes, is that okay? Good. I want you to be very happy. It's very important to me.
Donald, she has a name.
Where did you find
her
this?
name
Where
is
did you find
Alicia
this?
Machado.
Where did you find it? And Hillary, I just ask you this. You've been doing this for 30 years. Why are you just thinking about these solutions right now?
Why won't he release his tax returns? And I think there may be a couple of reasons. First, maybe he's not as rich as he says he is. Maybe he's not as charitable as he claims to be. He didn't pay any federal income tax. So
that makes
if
me
he's
smart.
paid zero,
I will release my tax returns when she releases her 33,000 emails that have been deleted. As soon as she releases them, I will release.
I'm not going to make any excuses. It was a mistake, and I take responsibility for that.
Okay, that was not a mistake. That was done purposely. I think it's disgraceful. And believe me, this country thinks it's disgraceful. It really thinks it's disgraceful also. She's telling us how to fight ISIS. Just go to her website. She tells you how to fight ISIS on her website. I don't think General Douglas MacArthur would like that too much. No wonder you've been fighting ISIS your entire adult life.
Folks,
go to the fact checkers, get to work.
You are unpacking a lot here.
A man who can be provoked by a tweet should not have his fingers anywhere near the nuclear codes.
She doesn't have the stamina. I said she doesn't have the stamina. And I don't believe she does have the stamina.
As soon as he travels to 112 countries, he can talk to me about stamina. This is a man who has called women pigs, slobs, and dogs.
I think my strongest asset, maybe by far, is my temperament. I have a winning temperament. I know how to win.
Secretary Clinton.
Woo, okay.
Well, you've seen me. I've been all over the place. You decided to stay home, and that's okay.
I think Donald just criticized me for preparing for this debate. And yes, I did. And you know what else I prepared for? I prepared to be president.
That there is a path for me to trod, that God isn't making this thing up as he goes. I thought he was making it up as he went. That's why I prayed, so he could make it up my way. I prayed to abort the process. I prayed to speed it up. I prayed to get out of things that he wanted me to stay into. I prayed that I wouldn't have to endure some things that he wanted me to endure. I was working on the destination, but he was working on me. And sometimes he made me wait. He made me slow down and said, no, you skipped that step. Go back. Go back and do that again. If you skipped it with Jimmy, I'm going to send it back with Freddie. If you skipped it with Willie, you're going to have to go through it with Roger. If you skipped it with Sally, you're going to go through it with Susie, because all of these are tools that I'm using to work on you. I'm not preparing the blessing for you. I'm preparing you for the blessing. The blessing is already prepared. Oh, my God. The blessing is already prepared. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things that God has prepared for them that love him. Did you know your blessing is already ready? That is already in place, that God isn't fixing it up right now. It's already done, that the work doesn't have to be applied to where you're going. The work has to be applied to you, so that when you get where you're going, you can handle what you gotta handle. And so, God, help me preach the steps, the steps, the steps. Touch three people and say, the steps, the steps, the steps. You wanted a good husband, but you wasn't a good wife. You wanted children, but you wasn't a good parent. You wanted a good wife, but you wasn't a good man. And anytime you get anything too soon, you will trip on the steps. So God puts us in process and orders steps. He does it by steps. Does everything by steps. Does everything by steps. Some young pastor had gotten a hold to some of our materials that we disseminate behind the scenes for our conferences. And they said everything is regimented. At 7 o'clock, the lights go up. At 7:01, the praise singers sing. At 7:15, it's in the hands of so-and-so. And they were amazed because they were used to going to a church that had no steps. I explained to them when you don't have much to manage, you can do it haphazardly. You can just call Sister Agnes out of the crowd and say, I see Agnes has come in the building, let's have Agnes come sing a solo. But when you have something massive to run, you can't run it in a haphazard way. Your structure has to be different. Your order has to be different. You can't move spontaneously. You have to move a little methodically and mechanically so that you are prepared to handle it. You can't drive an 18-wheeler like you drive a Volkswagen. You can make a sudden turn in a VW, but if you're driving an 18-wheeler, you got to think before you get to the turn and start shifting down and moving into position so that when you get to the turn, you are positioned to make the right turn. And if you weren't going to do much, God could jerk you quickly. But to him whom much is given, much is required. And you have to go through the process to get everything lined up. Yes, you can handle it, but can your children handle it? Yes, you can handle it, but can your spouse handle it? Yes, you can handle it, but do you have the right friends for where you're trying to go? There has to be some adjustments on the steps before you get to the stage. You can't get to this stage without steps. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Even Jesus had steps. They tried to crown him too soon. And he disappeared because they were trying to make him skip the steps. He said, no, you can't crown me before you cross me. It is my cross that makes my crown. It is my agony that makes my ecstasy. It is my sickness that makes my healing. It is my poverty that illuminates my prosperity, makes me appreciate where I am. Oh, God, help me. Makes me appreciate where I am right now. You don't notice good health till you've been sick. You don't even notice it. You don't even understand the words that are coming out of my mouth until you have been sick. You will never thank God for feeling good until you felt bad. You'll never thank God for your back, for your neck, for your head, for your kidneys, for your liver until it's been challenged. But after a while, you start thanking God for crazy stuff. Thank you because I can see this morning.
Let me explain something to you, people. When you show up late When you are out of shape and your job requires you to be in shape, when you are not working as hard as you know you can work on the job, when you are giving people attitude because they're giving you an attitude, it's like a cycle of death. It ain't gonna stop. If your goal is to work your way up the success ladder, if you're gonna have a problem with everybody who has a problem with you, do you think that that's gonna help you to get to the top even faster? You know how many times I gotta laugh at shit that ain't funny? You know how many times I gotta go to dinners and events and places and be around people that I don't fuck with at all? But guess what? If it's a game of survival, we gonna get from where we are to where we trying to be. Your pride and your ego is out of fucking control. Your pride and your ego has been killing your career growth. Your pride and your ego and your attitude has compromised the altitude of your career. You know better, but you're deciding to not do better. You are a lazy, unprofessional, mean attitude having motherfucker. And yet, when things are not happening good for you, when things are not coming your way, when things are not happening as fast as you want them to happen, you blame everybody else and what they're doing and saying, and you completely disown everything that you're doing to contribute to your career not going to another level. I refuse to be aware of something I could be and should be doing better and purposely decide to not do it. I refuse. That's just like inviting broke into your life. Your pride and your ego has stopped you from being thirsty. You're in your own way. You are the reason your career is not on the next level. Nobody else but you. You know better, but the question is, are you willing to do better? Stop running around acting as if you don't have a choice. You do have a choice. You do have a choice. You decided that those are your friends. You decided that those are the people that you want to spend time with. You decided this is what you wanted to do with your day. Stop running around acting as if you have nothing to do with the people, things, and situations in your life. Feeling good isn't just an opportunity. Feeling good is a responsibility that we all have for ourselves.